Hey guys, this is Dr. Callahan for week 11, Wednesday, Algebra 2, Semester 2. How are you guys doing? Go ahead and pause the video and answer the following questions for your warm-up. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and move on to today's stuff. So last class, if you missed us, this is what we kind of went over. We went over graphing radical functions. We went over a few questions involving with the TI-84s and whatnot. Today, technically, you guys have your quiz, and you do have that, but I'm going to spend a little bit of time kind of finishing up the notes for today before I issue you guys that quiz. And so if you're not here yesterday, make sure you guys watch the video for this. And as you guys know, you have your video given to you from every single class. And then at the end yesterday, you guys completed your poster, which I'm going to be grading today. So if you still have your poster and you did not submit it, you might want to do so that way you don't have a 0 for that. This is week 11. Our topic is on graphing radical expressions, and you guys know the rules of how you can go about raising your grades. 1, you got to attend regularly. 2, if you're sleeping in my class, or you're looking at your cell phones, it's 55%. That's the highest you will get. You literally have to turn things in, and do the activities and, finish your Padlet with your name on it so I can check you off. I will recommend your warm-up, exit ticket, guided notes, Padlet, etc. Your Math Excel is your practice and it's your homework for the entire semester. So you have one of those every single week. It's 10 questions, I shouldn't say multiple choice, fill in the blank. And I will give you guys some time on Wednesdays to work on that. Every Wednesdays, you guys have a quiz. It's on Math Excel. It's just 5 questions. So it's not super lengthy, but you have to complete it so I can go and update your grade. It's always due on Sunday by 11 p.m. If you do not complete the Math Excel or your quizzes for week 1 to 10, it's essentially late, but late is better than just getting a 50%. Can't pass with 50%. So if it's late, I will usually give you like a 10% deduction, which is like, you can still get a 90%, all the way down to a 40% deduction, which means if you take 100 minus 40, you'll get a 60%. So it's still better than just getting a missing, which is a 50. Okay, complete the activities in class, like the poster from yesterday. And then you guys have tutoring after school, Monday through Friday. So if you need some assistance, you know where I am. I'm here after school. I'm not here waiting for you at 4 o'clock going, maybe somebody will show up at 4:01. It's right after school. If you don't show up, then I go, do other things. But anyways, so this is your YouTube channel. If you have been absent, it's not a free day for you. When you're absent, I know you're absent, so you'll get a missing for that day. So to make up your absence, you need to watch the video, show me the work in your guided notes, and then when you're done, you're supposed to go, hey, I was absent yesterday. This is what I did when I watched the video. And then once I see that work, I just give you full points. Okay, so some of you guys have been absent excessively, and I haven't seen a lot of stuff from you. So if another reason why your grade is kind of low, that's another reason why it is. There are 49 videos right here. And if you take a look at it, yesterday is week 11, Tuesday, and you have that right there. So everything that we've done up to this point, you have access to. So it's not too late for you to raise your grade by watching the video to do that. There is a penalty, like I said, the longer it takes you to turn something in that's late. Instead of getting a 10% penalty, you might now have a 40% penalty, but it's still better than getting a 50%, which is still failing. Okay, so if you do turn it in, you get a 60 or above, which is passing. So just make sure you guys get into the habit of watching what it is that you're doing, making sure that you have things completed. And if you're absent, again, it's not a free day. You still have to make it up. All right, so today we're going to start with graphing radical functions. We're going to finish with the last part of that, and then I'm going to give you the second half of class to work on your Math Excel and then also your quiz. Okay, so today what you need is your guided note packet from 5.3. You need to have a laptop so you can have access to it, and then also a TI-84 calculator. So go ahead and grab the TI-84 and then also the laptop if you needed to access your Math Excel. So like right now, come on up, you guys, and then grab the materials that you need. Oh no, crap, cancel. All right, so let's go ahead and get started over here. So open your guided notes. Does anybody need a copy of it? If you do need a copy, I have extras right here. This is given to you guys right before school started with spring break. If you need a copy, it is right there. It's teal. All right, so yesterday we went over 2 different types of graphs and how you transform them. We went over square root and we also went over cube root. You guys should have like a pretty good generalized idea as to how they look. So I'm just going to draw right here so that way I have it. So remember, a square root is always going to be in a form like that little curve. And then you guys also know that a cube root is that weird little squiggly S shape like that. Okay, those are called the parent functions because that's always going to be at 0, 0. However, you do kind of move them around with the transformations. So for number 1, it says describe how to obtain the graph of this from the graph of that right there. Okay. And as I'm looking at this, you know, the only thing that's going to be different about this is that you have a negative 10. Okay. So what you're going to do, and I'm just going to type it up here, is I will just write something like the graph is translated 10 units down. And it does. It's translated 10 units down. It's moved 10 units down. Let me change that color. There we go. Make it a little bit bigger, maybe. Okay, so then let's take a look at number 2. So if you take a look at number 2, it's obviously a little bit different than the other one. The parent function over here is that it is square root of x, and this one has an x plus 14. But notice the 14 is inside the square root. So this graph is translated 14 units. And I know you want to say right because it's a positive, but it's opposite. It's actually 14 units to the left. So you just have to be a little bit careful with how you interpret that. Now take a look at number 3. Number 3, you have a plus 6 inside the square root, and you also have, or the cube root, and you have a minus 5. So what that means is the 5 means the graph is translated 5 units down, and the positive 6 means it is translated 6 units to the left. For number 4, if you take a look at that, you have like 3 different numbers. You have a minus 3, so your graph is translated 3 units down. That's the first one. The negative 10 means that it's translated 10 units to the right, because opposite of a negative is a positive. So you think about that, it's like 10 to the right. And then you have like this weird 5 in front of it. And what that 5 means is that it is the A. If your A is going to be bigger than 1 and 5 is bigger than 1, your graph is going to be skinnier. Okay. And so you can say your graph is compressed. There you go. So if I were to go ahead and draw this, okay, a compressed graph like the original one, if it's looking like the parent function looks something like this, which is just normally shaped, your compressed one is just going to be a little bit skinnier than that. So just a little bit smaller like that, okay? All right, let's go ahead and move on. So then let's take a look at this part right here, okay? Because you're going to have your TI-84 calculator, so we can go ahead and graph this. Maybe not. Maybe you can just go ahead and actually graph it without your TI-84, because now that you know the transformation. So for number 9, you have a cube root. Remember, a cube root, the parent function looks something like this, right? It's that weird little squiggly line. So then if you look at this right here, you have a -7, which means you're gonna go down 7 units. So you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Draw your line right here. And then it's just gonna be a normally shaped cube root, because you don't have a number in front of the cube root. If it was like a smaller than 1 number, it'll be wider. And if it's gonna be bigger than 1, it'll be skinnier or more compressed. Okay, so then for number 10, if you take a look at it, it's still a cube root, so it's gonna be that weird little squiggly thing. The 3 means you go up 3. The 4 means you go 4 to the right. And then you have a 2. That 2 is bigger than 1, right? So what does that mean? That means it's gonna be compressed, which means it's gonna be a skinnier graph, okay? So then let's graph that. So I'm gonna start off at 3. So up 1, 2, 3, go to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4. So draw your dot right there. And then it's just gonna be a skinnier version of that. So it's gonna be a little bit smaller than the last one. So it looks something like that. And your domain and range is gonna be from -infinity to +infinity for both. All right, let's go into number 11 and number 12. So for number 11, it's still a cube root. Notice that. So you have a 4 that's inside the square or the cube root. So that's 4 to the left, okay? You have a 3 right here, which means it's gonna be compressed. So it's gonna be a skinnier graph. But then do you also see how there's a negative right there? That negative means that you have to reflect over the x-axis, which means you just flip it. Okay, so when I graph this, I'm gonna start at 4 to the left, 1, 2, 3, 4. There's my dot right there, okay? But then instead of going like normally left to right, like this is normally what it would look like, right? Left to right. Because of the negative, you have to reflect it over the x-axis. And remember, it has to be a skinnier version of that. So then really it's gonna go this way. Like that. So your line is not the red line, it's the blue line. You just have to like flip it, reverse the direction. For number 12, notice how it has 1/3. Remember, the 1/3 is just the power over the root. This is just in exponential form. We learned how to write this from exponential form to radical form. We practiced in class. And so all this means is that you just put in the cube root, x plus 2 goes on the inside, minus 2 go on the outside, okay? And you just graph it as is. So that -2 means 2 down. That +2 means you go 2 to the left. And so when I graph this, you go down 2, 2 to the left, and then it's just gonna be a normal shaped graph like that. All right, you guys. So that is basically the end of that. And so I'm going to have you guys go ahead and get started on your quiz for today. And so let's go to Math Excel to go ahead and create that. So if you need a laptop, grab your laptop. So where you go is you go to type Math Excel and then just Washoe County School District on the Google bar. It's the first one that comes up. You click on that. Go down to sign in. And if you're using the school computer, you're already signed in. You go to Algebra 2. You don't go to Envision. You go to Math Excel because that's where it's at. And once you're here, I'm going to go ahead and create the assignment for you guys. So I'm going to go to my assignment manager. And I'm just going to go create quiz. And this will just be week 11, Wednesday, Algebra 2, semester 2. And it's going to be on graphing radical expressions. It's just going to be 5 questions. And they're actually going to be pretty simple. It's not going to take you that long because on average, it's going to take you about like 1 minute for each question or less. Okay, except for the first question, but it's not going to take you guys that long. So it's just 5 questions. It is going to be due. I'm going to go ahead and have you guys complete it today, but I would prefer if you guys just turn it in today before you guys leave so that we can update your grade. So today is the 30th. Why does this not look correct? I don't understand. That doesn't look right. Oh, it is. Okay, just kidding. Okay, here we go. This is good. There we go. And you guys have 3 different attempts. And I'm just going to click save and assign. So you guys do have that. So you can use your notes on it right now. Grab your laptop, or if you can access it on your cell phone or an iPad, start your quiz. It's 5 questions. Get it out of the way. And that way you guys are done. So happy work.